Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Knitting Man podcast. This week is all about flowers. We are going to be in Helston for Floraday, Helston in Cornwall, Floraday. It's a special day, believe me. So that's going to be travels with my yarn. I'm not doing actually any knitting, but it's an unbelievable spectacle that we've got filmed here. It's such a beautiful thing. And the other thing is I'm going to start work on Mrs. Smith's shawl. So I'm starting to draw that and it's going to be full of flowers. Hello and welcome back. I'm Gary Ray Smith, the Knitting Man, and this is episode 16 of the Knitting Mad Knitting Mad. Well, I am knitting mad too. The Knitting Mad podcast, and this week we're going to Floraday in Helston. And if you've not heard of Floraday, you're going to hear about it. It is amazing. It's an amazing day. We loved it. We had a great day. We do it most years because our daughters normally dance in the Floraday, but this year it was Arthur's turn, our grandson, and he danced this year, so we all went. It's a big family event for us. Yeah, that's later on in the episode. And the other thing is that also I'm going to start Mrs. Smith's shawl, and she's picked her colours, as you all know. She's picked her colours, and so I'm going to start designing that today. It's really early days. What I wanted to show you, and what I didn't show you really last time when I did the hair design, was that kind of early period of the design process where I've really got no idea where I'm going. I think with the hair shawl I already had I'd already done work on a similar shawl in the past, but with this one I really don't know what I'm doing, so you're going to see me struggling to discover what this one's all about. So but first of all, I've got a little film, and this is about something that we were thinking about doing for the future, but it's a little film that I made earlier this week. Hello, you've caught me swatching, which isn't something I do very often really, because generally when I swatch a whole jumper or I swatch a whole blanket. But there's a reason why I'm swatching this. I'm running 4 balls together, and I had a brainwave the other day, and I thought, well, my jumpers take so long, something like this, takes my swallows jumper, takes about 6 weeks, took me about 6 weeks. And I thought, well, I'd like to try and knit a jumper in a day. Now, in the 90s, I did used to run yarns together and make big blankets and use big thick needles like these, and I haven't really done it since then. And I thought, well, this is something that I could do, and it would use up a lot of yarn, which would please Mrs. Smith because it would get the yarn down, and I could use up all the yarn that I'm not likely to use. So it's a nice stash buster, and I could knit it for my daughter Kitty. And the idea is that I'm going to try to knit a vest, but do it in a day. So I'm going to get up in the morning. So we need to find a day, first of all, that we're both free, which is difficult. Obviously with Joe childminding and me looking and me going to work. And so the idea is that if we can get a day together where we can just film, and then I will take you through the process. So what I'm doing at the moment is just swatching enough that I can get an idea of how many stitches I need, and then I'll just rough out a pattern, chart a pattern up, and be ready to start. So if you think it's a good idea, if you like that idea, that let me know in the comments below, and then that's something that we'll push forward with in a future episode when me and Joe get a day together to do the filming of it. So that's something that we're going to do in the future, and I hope to grow that. So I want to start with knitting a vest in one day, and I've been thinking about maybe going up to a jumper and even going up to something like a cardigan, and all trying to do them in one day, with Joe filming me from the early morning. And really, you know, I want to fight it. I want to be fighting against time to get them knitted, but also I am thinking that they might be free patterns that people can use as well. So we live in a beautiful part of the country called Cornwall, and we've been in Cornwall now for 20 years, and for the majority of that time, well, for all of that time, we've lived in and around Helston, but for a large portion of that time we actually lived in Helston, and all of our children went to Helston School. And now Arthur goes to school in Helston, our grandson. What you're going to see now is Floraday, and it's an ancient tradition in Helston, in Cornwall. And what happens is that there are 5 dances throughout the day, and the people dance through the streets and in and out of the shops and houses. And the idea behind Floraday is that you're saying goodbye to the winter and you're saying hello to the spring. And the dances that we've got recorded are, you've got the morning dance, which you'll see first, and after that is the Hallantoe. So the Hallantoe is like a mystery play, and it outlines the history of Helston. And in the Hallantoe you'll see St Michael vanquish the devil, but also in the Hallantoe are St Piran, who's the patron saint of Cornwall, and you've also got St George, who's the English patron saint. And the other thing that's important in the Hallantoe is they talk about the Spanish Armada and how we vanquished the Spanish Armada. So there's lots in it. So it's all compacted. All the history of Helston is compacted into the Hallantoe. So the morning dance is for the workers, because the workers would do the dance before going to work, and they would also do the evening dance as well. So the people that do the morning dance also do the evening dance, and then after that you've got the Hallantoe, and then you've got the children's dance, which you'll see. And we do have a tiny little bit, but you've just got the tops of the heads really, of the midday dance. And the midday dance would have been all the toffs in their top hats. And it still is ladies in long dresses and top hats, but you haven't got much of that to see in our clip here. I hope you enjoy our Floraday that we had, and in there as well you'll see all of my family, because we all got together for it. It's a big holiday, big celebration for us. And also in amongst that you'll see the children go as well. They go to the fun fair. There's a fun fair in the town, and there's a big market, and it's a great day out in a quaint old Cornish town. Hello everyone, it's 6:30 in the morning and we've just left home, and we're on our way to Helston for Floraday. And Arthur, our grandson, he lives in Helston, he goes to school in Helston. So like his mum and his aunties, he's going to be dancing in the Floraday floral dance. snow poldark from the TV series. Oh lovely, the sun's coming through, Joe. It's going to be a lovely day. We've done many a Flora day in the past, and when our daughters were young, and because we've lived in and around Helston for the last 20 years, and we've been on some Flora days where it just tipped down with rain all day long, but today's going to be beautiful. I'm on a wider road now as we come into Helston.
What's this flower called?
Please do, I made all the It was a bit behind. Hello, sorry, it's all vegan.
Did the microphone right?
Just get Atlas.
Yeah, I'm coming that way, and the house is lovely. They're all decorated for Floral Day. Lily of the Valley. And the hills.
Yeah, I know, so we'll actually get out. Hey?
Oh yeah.
Happy Flora Day.
As long as you get it the right way.
I can speak another language, did you?
As long as we get it the right way.
Flew you! Danny Warber! Hellton Flora! Have you, again the event, the Helston welcome the Canoeon at the pub Kendro de War, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, Pecan Pile, Tina Cabroda War, and Sausen. On this special day, Helston extends a very special welcome to you all. Welcome back, everybody. And a special welcome to our Cornish cousins from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, or whatever place it may be overseas, even the Tamar and the English. The Hellton is about to begin. Oh, really?
Oh, well done for wearing red to match your cousin up. Right, everyone. Holidays. Everyone's here. I can pay on the business card. Hello. Yes, we've done all that.
Everyone say Williams Travel.
Don't all that. Waiting for Arthur to come along dancing. There's Vera.
I knew where you'd be, Mum.
Yeah, I knew you knew that. I was trying to thank Miss Otterly.
We need to give money, do we?
So that was Flora Day, and it was wonderful. We had absolutely fantastic day. And some of you that are eagle-eyed might have spotted in there, and I know he's a favourite of a lot of people. You might have spotted the unknitting man in there, and also the unknitting widow was in there as well. So if you didn't see that, you might want to go back and see if you can find them, but they were definitely in there. And now the next section that we've got is I filmed it earlier in the week when I started to draw Mrs. Smith's shawl, and I've got this vague notion in my head how I want it to be, and this is how it kicked off. So I've just put a great big piece of paper on my desk, and all I've done is draw a giant triangle on it for now. I've got no idea where this is going. I'm just filming it to see. I'm just showing you sort of something else that is just a vase that I've got in my studio. All I've done is I started to draw it in, and I really wasn't liking it, and then I thought, let's just get some paint on the paper. So I've just thrown some pink in to try, and now I can sort of work into that with the black. So the pink's dry. I left the pinks dry and had some lunch, and now I'm just going to go back in, and rather than sort of hit it with a dark black, so I can sort of build up the black in the areas that I want, I'm going to go in with some grey. So I've got a grey on my brush here. So Joe's not around, so I'm having to sort of film this on my own. So I'm playing with negative and positive space, and that's what I really think I want to do with this project. So I've got these sort of darker areas where I'm drawing around the flowers, and then I'm going to have within the light areas I'm going to have darker flowers, and I've just got a bit of Payne's grey and white to make this sort of silvery. First time I've ever done this, so if it's a bit rubbish, the filming, that's because I've never filmed myself while I'm painting before. Joe's out, so she's taken the kids out. So I'm here doing it on my own. I've got a rough idea of what I want, but it's very rough. So I'll come back again later when I've put a bit more in. The other thing I just wanted to say quickly as well is that this is a preparatory drawing. This is, it's not the finished drawing at all. This is just from me to try and work out, in my head, just, it's my head, allow my head to do some calculations to try and see if, how it might look and whether it's going where I want it to, because I've got this vision, but I'm just trying to find it. I'm just trying to get it out. So yeah, it's just a preparatory drawing, and in the past I might have done 10, 12, 15 before I decide to not continue with the project. So I might just find it quite quickly, we'll see, but I'm just trying to find something at the moment. So I've just sort of roughed in the areas and the blooms, and it's really reminding me of me and Mrs. Smith's wedding, when we got married, I think it was 87 we got married, it was the 80s, and our wedding was grey and pink. The whole wedding was grey and pink. So yeah, I haven't painted it grey and pink for that reason, but it just reminded me of that whilst I was painting. So now I'm going to let that dry, and then I might, I think, start drawing around things with pencil, trying to define the shapes better. So after all of that, this is where I am with Mrs. Smith's shawl. So, and I don't know, I've got to think about it now, and I'll think about it and mull it over and maybe do some more drawings, and I'll try to get those drawings filmed so you can see, you know, what happens, you know, the progress, the process of creating something, or how my mind creates something anyway. There's one thing that happened this week. I did a lot of Facebook posts, but we also there were some people, and they put some posts on their Facebook pages with links to this YouTube channel, and from those links we had massive peaks on our number of people that were watching our shows, and we could see them and we didn't know where they were coming from, and then we got lots more subscribers. So I'd like to say thank you to those people, and if I can find out where I wrote it down, who it was. So it was Viv in Cornwall, and I wrote it down twice somewhere, and Claire in Australia. And so they just shared links to these videos, and yeah, loads of people started watching them. There were loads of subscribers, so thank you very much for doing that. And if anybody else wants to share our links in your Facebook groups, if you're allowed to do so, because I know some Facebook groups don't allow you to do that, but if anybody else wants to share any links, we'd be really grateful. Thank you. So last week we did mention that we were going to set up a Patreon, but what with this week being really busy with Floraday, we haven't really had a chance to look at it. But what did come up this week as well is that YouTube have got a thing which is called Super Thanks, and they said, oh, you can release this button now so you can apply super thanks. So we do now have a button below. If you feel like you're learning things from this channel, and you'd like to help us to grow the channel, you can just go on the super thanks, and you can donate to the channel. So if anybody wants to do that, you know, feel welcome to do so, until we actually do get our Patreon up and running, which should be in a couple of weeks. But there should now be a button below. If people want to give to this channel, they can, and that will encourage us to do more, and hopefully to find more time to do more episodes and do more work. So yeah, if you want to do that, thank you very much. So that's it for this week. If you really like the idea of me knitting a jumper in a day, and I thought it might be a good thing to do, because my knits do take a long time and it might make a nice change for me. If you want to see that happen, let me know in the comments below. Obviously, I'm Gary Ray Smith. I'm Gary Ray Smith on Instagram, and I'm Gary Ray Smith on Facebook if you'd like to follow us there. And also in the description below there is my link tree, and that should take you to all of those, as well as to where you can buy my patterns and stuff like that. So thank you very much, and it's good night from me, and it's good night from her. See you next week.